Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. So for the last, I believe, like a year or so, maybe a little less, you've been hearing this talk about birthright citizenship, this 14th Amendment, you know, and it kind of died down, but now it has resurfaced, and now they're fixing to go through with it, and we've been telling you so-called Negroes, Latinos and Native Americans, that this place does not like you. This devil, being, the so-called white man, he doesn't like you. He's your enemy, and he's showing you to your face. You just don't want to believe it. You just don't want to realize it. But this man is about to come down with great wrath on you tribes, because he's just pretty much tired of being nice to you. He's about to show his wrath, because he got a short time, man. He knows his kingdom is falling, it's crumbling, and he's pulling all the strings to be able to come down on you, man. The same way he did, throughout history. So you ask yourself, what is the 14th Amendment, right? Let's go here. For those that don't know, this is an AI overview. Adopted in 1868, the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Now, this is a constitutional law, which the Constitution, they're constantly breaking the Constitution daily, man. Right? By ICE, by declaring war on U.S. citizens. The Constitution has it's just a piece of paper to these devils now. It says the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, including former enslaved people, and guarantees all citizens equal protection of laws, which that was the first strike of you not knowing that you were a citizen in this country, because the laws are geared to oppress you while it protects everyone else, right? As you've known throughout history, so-called Negroes and Latinos have not been getting a fair shake in this country, have not been, judged righteously according to the law, man. It tells you in the book of Habakkuk 1 and 4, say the law is slacked, right? Let's get that real quick. This is because this is just the same way the fitted hats over there in the land use the Bible as a smoke screen to make you believe that they're about the scriptures, and how that's a lie. Is the same way the Constitution was put up, to make everybody believe that they're equal, right? But you don't see that going on in this country, man. All right. This is Let's get it. Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 4. It says, therefore the Lord slacked, and righteous judgment, Salakia, and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth, man. So the court system, the legal system, the medical system, the law enforcement system, the judicial system is all corrupt and is all against you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, man. This whole system has been set up to oppress you, right? And you should know that by now. So it says, the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution grants citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, including former enslaved people, and guarantees all citizens equal protection of laws and due process of law, prohibiting states from depriving any person of life, liberty, or property without legal justification. And you know that's a goddamn lie, because the property is not your property, man. Right? Whatever you so-called own in this country, you don't own it. You know how people walk around and say, this is my house, I own it. You don't own anything in America, man. Right? You don't even own yourself. This is why you have a social security number. This is why you have to walk around with your ID, man. There's no liberty here, right? It's liberty to do wickedness, right? It prohibits you to speak righteousness, because now they're trying to get away with free speech, right? You can't tell the truth in this country. It tells you that, in Hosea chapter 4, how the Lord says there's no truth, right, in the land, or no knowledge of the Most High in the land. So, although the Constitution may, in writing, may sound good for everybody, but that's not what's taking place in the country, man. Right? So it says citizenship clause establishes birthright citizenship, reversing the Dred Scott decision by declaring all persons born naturalized in the U.S. and subject to its jurisdictions are citizens. And what they call you in the Constitution, right? So-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, what they call y'all? 3/5 of a human being, right? So there's a contradiction, right? What's on paper is not what's being showed in action. So let's go back here. Right? So it says Rand Paul introduces amendment to end birthright citizenship. Because, like I said in my last video, I said you Negroes, you mocking and you proud over here in America, saying that you can't be deported and where you gonna go, and we're citizens here, and this and that. You're about to find out you're not, man. You're about to find out that this country hates you and how this country really feels about you. You're about to find that out, man. Because the scriptures don't lie, right? The scriptures tell you in Jeremiah 50:33 and Salakia for the rant, but I'm just trying to, get some, give you some context. Pretty much, it says that the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. Both kingdoms is going to be oppressed, right? By who? You're looking at him on the screen, man. His nation, which is the nation of Edom, right? So don't think you're safe here, man. You're not safe. So let's listen in.
Welcome back. The Supreme Court could decide as soon as next month whether President Trump can restrict birthright citizenship. But my next guest isn't taking any chances. He's ready with a plan to end birthright citizenship through a constitutional amendment. He is Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, and he joins me now. Senator, thanks for being with us here today. 2/3 of the House, 2/3 of the Senate, 3/4 of the states is another path to ratify an amendment. And we barely get bills passed, Senator.
Yeah, I think going through the states is our best chance. You know, there's about 35 Republican states where this is pretty popular. And I do think, as it's explained to people and people understand that people are breaking the law and their kids get to vote, I think most people, if they hear that, are like surprised, but also upset that.
And you have a devil saying that people are breaking the law when most of the crimes on every level is done by so-called white men, right? Whatever category you want to talk about considering crime, the so-called white man, he leads in all of them.
This is happening. We also have so many people abusing our system. I mean, look at the entire Somali population of Minnesota stealing $9 billion. So I think people are upset about this more than they have been in a long time.
And the one who orchestrated that was a so-called white woman.
And I think the 14th Amendment was intended really to make sure slaves, newly freed slaves, were voting, all for that, all for legal immigrants who come here and U.S. citizens to vote. Right. But if you break the law, I don't think you should be rewarded with voting.
But does that mean, even though that's your interpretation, mine as well, that the 14th Amendment had its original intentions, you don't expect the Supreme Court to actually see it the same way?
Most people who watch the oral arguments are saying the court's probably going to rule the other way. That's been the opinion of most legal scholars over time, but we've never had a definitive ruling. I think we probably will get a definitive ruling, and I don't think it's going our way. But either way, for my period in the Senate, I've been for statutory change the law, but I've also been for constitutional change. And I think we're leaning towards the best answer, or maybe the only possible answer after the Supreme Court rules, is we're going to have to amend the Constitution.
All right, 35 states. You need 38 ultimately to ratify it. That's a big lift, but this is the beginning of the process. Senator Rand Paul, thanks so much for being with us.
And all these devils, they with it, man. You know, I'm not going to say all of them, but the majority of them, they with it, man. You know, and this is what and me, I don't give a damn about this, you know, because those of us in this truth, we know what it is. But for our people that love America, that want to stay here, that don't want to leave, that just want to remain a slave and a goddamn servant to the so-called white man, you know, this is for you, man. This is an eye opener for you. You know, because we've been telling you your vote doesn't count. You rush down to the ballots, right? Early voting. You know, and all this, and you thinking that your voting is just going to change something. If that's the case, how many times you went down to the ballot and voted, and how different is your life from the first day that you voted, right? The very first time to the last time you voted. How is your life? Is it better or is it worse? Right? And if you say it's better, you're a liar. Right? So your vote doesn't count, man. You being in America is not, you know, is not of your best interest, man. This place hates you. So you heard the devil. He said, I don't feel like if people break the law, you know, they should be able to vote. But wait a minute. The same way, because you got to look at the what they're actually saying, because when Trump said he was going to get rid of immigration and all illegals are going to be deported, how did that work out, man? Because he was not coming after illegals, man. Well, I'm not going to say he wasn't coming after illegals. He wasn't coming after the criminals that he said he was going to go for, man. He's going after anybody that looks so-called Latino. Grab him up, deport him, right? And say he's a criminal. Say he doesn't belong here. But yet, some of them had papers. Some of them were so-called citizens of America, man. So the same way he used that as a way in to say, listen, we're going to go after the criminals. We're going to deport them all. They're going to be out of here, right? And then once he got in office and he got, the writing and all that, what did he do? He went after all you so-called Latinos, man. He started rolling up on you at your job, in church, school, right? You couldn't even work. So it's the same way here, man. You heard them say the Somalians. They ain't worried about no goddamn Somalians, man. This right here is fully coming at you so-called Negroes, because all you talk about is goddamn voting, man. The scriptures tell you should not vote. Voting is a sin, right? That's what the scriptures say, right? It tells you shouldn't vote because you're voting for your enemies, man. All these people that's presidents and most of the people that turns out to be mayors, even if they are your people, they still bought and paid for, man. They still, adhering and holding up the system. So let me get one. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, man. It's corrupt. America, Babylon the Great is not your rest, man. And this devil is showing you little by little, man, until he finally has things set up where he can just roll on you, man. That's what's being set up right now. He's taking away your rights, every right, so that way he can rewind time and go back to when, he can just flat out come at you, man. Sick dogs on you, back in the era of Jim Crow, man. You couldn't even look at these devils, right? It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. So this place is going to destroy you, man. If you try your best to uphold it, man, got to get to the ballots. Got to get to the voting booths, right? They ain't going to do a damn thing for you, right? Now, more than likely, they're going to get this passed, man. Because they want to rile you niggas up, man. They want to rile you up so they can have a reason to come down with that great wrath physically on you, man. This is Deuteronomy 28, because the Lord said, man, we were sent here as a curse, man. We were sent here and put curses on. We were sent here as a prison sentence. We were sent here for our disobedience, right? The Lord removed us all the way across the earth, man, to another land, right? Thousands of miles away from our homeland, man. Right? This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 29. And it reads, it says, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. When you groping at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, it's like you're searching for something to hold on to. Right? So that way you won't fall. And for a lot of our people, America is it. Right? This is what they want to hold on to. So they get out and vote. They try to, in their mind, they think that they're going to make a change by voting, but they ain't going to make a change, man. Right? It says, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. You got black billionaires, right? You got, Negroes, with all this creativity and all this business savvy and all this, but you don't got goddamn businesses nowhere, man. You don't have a chain restaurant or a chain nothing in America that you could call your own, man, that you could set the rules. You don't have that, right? And anything you try to do, Rosewood, Black Wall Street, right? Seneca Village, right? All of these black communities that was thriving, what happened to them? Right? The Lord tore them down, man, because this ain't your rest. You ain't supposed to prosper here, right? It's going to tell you. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 29 again. It says, and thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save you. You're not gonna save yourself. You got Jake saying that we gotta save ourselves. We gotta learn black economics. We gotta get some land. That's not gonna help you, Jake. It's not gonna work out for you, man. Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. So you ain't got no power here. Your kids are subject to what you're subject to. And if they want to take your kids, they can, man. Right? This is why they have CPS. Right? In every state in America. This is why kids go missing and don't nobody know nothing. You can't get no answers. Right? Because what? It was given into the hands of another people, and those other people are your enemies, which is Esau, Edom. Right? So this is another way that they're taking away your power and you're not prospering. You never prosper by voting. Right? This is the Lord showing you what you need to do, which is come back to him. So let's listen to this.
Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry is responding after yesterday's U.S. Supreme Court decision. The justices invalidated a key part of the Voting Rights Act. The Republican governor says the decision means his state is prohibited from going ahead with primary elections next month under the state's current congressional map. The decision overturned that map, saying it was unconstitutional because it relied on racial factors and benefited Black voters. The move could endanger at least one of the state's Democratic House seats. NPR's Sam Greenglass reports the effect on this year's midterm elections isn't clear.
Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act resulted in the creation of more than a dozen protected majority Black districts in the South. In ruling Louisiana's congressional map an unconstitutional racial gerrymander, the court opened the door for GOP-led states to eliminate districts drawn to be majority Black. Terry Sewell is a Democratic congresswoman from Alabama.
It will pave the way for the greatest reduction in representation for Black and minority voters since the years following Reconstruction.
In Tennessee, Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn has called for lawmakers to draw new maps to eliminate the state's remaining Democratic seat in Congress. Mariana Bacallao of member station WPLN reports.
Tennessee Republicans got
and they blatantly showing you they don't want you. They just want you to work and die and be a slave, man. They're showing you to your face that you're nobody, you're nothing.
rid of Nashville's Democratic seat during redistricting in 2022, but left Memphis alone. The predominantly Black and Democratic city had been protected by federal law that prohibited racial gerrymandering. Now, following the Supreme Court's ruling striking down Louisiana's map, Blackburn is proposing maps that would lump Memphis in the western corner of the state with rural areas in the middle of the state, a district spanning roughly 200 miles.
Republican officials in Georgia have also called for congressional redistricting.
So pretty much wherever you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are, that, you know, you have a huge presence of voting, they want to scrap those parts of the city to where you can't vote, man. So they're making it a predominantly white vote, right? So Hey, man, the Lord is showing you, man. You don't want to get it. That's on you.
As soon as possible to help the GOP keep control of the House of Representatives after this year's midterm election. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News. For more of today's news, be sure to like and follow us or check out NPR News Now, wherever you listen to podcasts. Louisiana.
So, hey, man, this is it, man. Right? This is the beast showing you he don't like you, man. Right? The whore showing you he don't like you, man. Right? It's crazy, man. This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, man. And the man of sin is Esau Edom, the devil, man. Right? Verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Because this devil, when the Lord returns, he's going to be no more. So what he's trying to, pretty much offset prophecy in some way. In his bugged out mind, he thinks that he can get his birthright back, right? And he's angry, man. So he's gonna lash out. Soon he's gonna full-fledged lash out on you, Jakes, right? And you don't have no power, man. And we can see it coming. We can see it coming, man. Right? So let's get this last one. We're going to shut it down because the Lord is fixing to deliver us up out of here, man. Right? This is 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 11. 15 and verse, I'm going to start at 10. It says, 2 Ezra 15 and 10, we're going to shut it down. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt. And this is talking about modern day Egypt, man. This is talking about America, right? The Lord said that his people have been led as a flock to the slaughter, man. All we get here is slaughtered. All that comes to us in this country is depression, stress, death, right? Sickness, no justice, no peace. So the Lord is going to remove us out of here, man. The Lord is fixing to remove us out of here. Verse 10 again, it says, behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt. I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. And what you see happening in America, man, plagues, day by day, a new plague. You got this virus that just popped in the earth out of nowhere, and now it's spreading all throughout, the world, right? Which we know that's a fucking lie, man. It's locking, man. It gets you vexed when you see the lies that these devils tell, and they just blatantly look you dead in the face and just lie, man. Because they're not trustworthy people. It says, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it, man. So, hey, how about Shemel Shah is fixing to take this devil out of power? He's going to be the slave, and we're going to be on top, man. So, to hell with your voting. You don't need to vote, man. Hey, we already got a ruler and a king, man. Turn to Yahweh Shemel Shah, man, while you still can, because this place is going down. You can't hold it up, Jake. This place going down, man. So I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, to the next lesson. Shalom.